What's up YouTube? Today we're going to look at this beautiful vintage Futaba handset. Look at that beauty. This is how they used to make things back in the dawn of radio control. And this is an FP-T7 FG, which is a 7-channel radio set. First, let's get you some basic specs. So we've got the weight, $10-30 grams, so pretty hefty thing to be holding for a day's flying. But it is a generally metal construction and heavy duty circuitry inside. The width of it is coming in at about 19 centimeters. In the height of the main body is 15.5, but that is a bit longer with the aerial extension, about 17.5. And then you've got the main body thickness at about 68, not including the sticks. Including the sticks, it's more like 90, 93 or 94. So pretty chunky. You can see my hand on it. It's a size 9 glove, large. It does fit well, having that larger thickness to hold it, but held out like this, you do feel that 1 kilogram weight. Yeah, let's just say it's already feels a bit heavy after a minute. Interesting aerial storage system here. Don't know why they just had that in the side. With such a robust and replaceable support for the aerial here. Many of you probably broken your more modern aerials to 2.4 gigahertz ones and probably would have loved to see a nice replaceable piece if you could get it. And yeah, that screws in quite high up on that. It doesn't sink. Can you see that in the camera? Yeah. Can you see the thread there? So it doesn't go far down, just sits on top. Making it quite a long piece, and that is a thick aerial which extends. I'll try and get you a dimension for the full extension and add it in, but just the thickness of that piece, to give you an idea, is a centimetre. So it does have quite a lot of inner tubes that extend out there. There's the nice old-fashioned analog battery gauge. On the front, you've got your 2 main gimbals here, which do unscrew and come out, and they feel nice. They're very nice quality units from Futaba. Solid, no play, no rattle, precise, as you'd expect for a high-end radio set. And then you've got your 6 analog trims here, which actually just feel really nice to use versus digital ones. Especially on the fly, you might just feel like you need to have a bit more trim one way or another, and you can just reach down with your finger and quickly do that, quickly put a click or two on to make that adjustment, as opposed to waiting for beeps or looking where a trim button is, or worse still, having to go in a digital menu to look at that. I quite like the analog trims. Let me know what you think. I find them more practical. Then we've got the auxiliary controls on the top. Now, given the shape of this, beautiful as it is, in that beautiful gold anodized aluminium, reaching these, I literally have to let go to get to one of these switches. If I thumbs on here, I cannot physically do that without moving my elbow out. So if I'm in control of the vehicle, I actually have to extend my elbow out to click these, and they're quite stiff, so I hope that comes across in the video just how awkward that is. Maybe if I hold it a bit further up, but that doesn't feel like my thumb's in the right place. So ergonomics, they hadn't considered them too much. They probably were considering aesthetics, given by how beautiful this switch gear actually is. So you've got a trainer button, you've got 2 AUX switches here. Well, this will be, oh actually these are your 2 DR switches, so you can have double rates for your ailerons and rudder. So once you get up to speed or in a faster aircraft, you've got that. You've got a mixing switch here, and then you've got your gear channel 5 and also elevator DR. We'll see how they work out on the receiver. It's quite interesting to have 3 DR switches there, and just the 1 gear one, which would be an auxiliary. And they are stainless steel toggle switches, which complement the gold anodizing. And these screws are nice bright stainless steel screws, which hold on these plastic side pieces, which if you undo these screws, you can pull one out and access the battery. I think the battery's more on this side. They look nice with the black plastic in contrast to the gold anodized aluminium, but it also feels a bit cheaper, these plastic pieces. Right, moving to the back. Now what's great about this particular one is that it takes just a standardized module. So we can unclip that. There's your crystal. There's your 5 pins, there. This is a 35 megahertz module. But if you wanted to just change this to 2.4 gigahertz and turn up at the field with your bling radio, you just have to pop in a modern 2.4 gigahertz module, and it will just plug and play and work for you. But also if you wanted to change to surface 40 megahertz or 72 megahertz for the US, you can change the module there. Got an access panel here, which has your servo reversers and some DR pots, so you can adjust your DR statically here. And also you've got ATV left and right and a 1:4 mix. So I think that allows you to mix channels 1 to 4 and tune how much mixing goes on in one direction and the other. And the ATVs, I think, allow you to change your rate curves effectively on those channels. So that's quite an advanced level of adjustability you could have with this radio. It takes some tuning with using a screwdriver on the back here to intuitively work out where you need it to be with that. You know, essentially you're going to have to land your aircraft every time to give that a little go, or make a mental note before changing it. That's where a digital display would be more beneficial. But it shows you that even as far back as these radios, they consider those worthwhile adjustments to have to give you better control over the aircraft. And that's your reversing panel for 7 channels. So that's quite nice and easily accessible, and feels pretty good how that works. Then you've got this display stand, which I can only imagine that's just for displaying the radio. I mean, maybe if you get tired of holding it in your hands while flying it, you can fly it like this on a table, but otherwise it's just to stand up. So that's it. a beautiful vintage handset. It's a lovely piece. I love collecting vintage radio control handsets, and I do find these beautiful to look at and have on the shelf. I haven't personally used it or flown anything with it because it's got the module system. I probably would give this a go because it would be easy to. Although getting hold of those switches, I wouldn't want to be flying anything where it was too critical that I got hold of them. But let me know, did you use one of these? Do you have one of these? Would you like to get your hands on one of these for that vintage look? Plug and play 2.4 gigahertz conversion. Is it just nice to see? Did you find it heavy? Could you reach those switches? Let me know in the comments. Futaba FP-T7FG /K